Ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot of news to unpack in today's video. Yes, Ki-Adi-Mundi has been confirmed for Galaxy of Heroes, which will be the upcoming reward like Wat Tambor for Light Side GeoTB's Territory Battles, which is being called the Clone Parade. All this information about Light Side Territory Battles, the new characters, the Malevolence, as well as some Malak fiasco reactions from the developers came on a Galactic War Report podcast interview. Frankly, that's the only place getting exclusive interviews from the developers anymore. I'll leave a link down below. If you want to go listen to the whole thing in its entirety, feel free to do so. But for those who don't have an hour and 10 minutes to listen to this, I'm going to highlight the most important things because there's a lot of important stuff in this podcast that probably is not going to get disseminated the way it probably should, because there's just so much crucial information you guys got to know about. So to kind of highlight how this video is going to go, we're going to talk about the Clone Parade, the Light Side GeoTB's Territory Battles a little bit, and all the little fun inner workings of it. And then we're going to talk a bit about some other stuff, such as ships, because ships is still an important topic for the developers. And we're going to talk a bit about the Malak fiasco a bit more, get the developers' reaction to it. And I'm a bit saddened that the interviewers, I get that they're Capital Games' favorite people and the only place to get news and stuff like that, so they didn't want to be too pushy. But unfortunately, I felt like the developers and the interviewers kind of skated by this issue, made it seem like it wasn't that big of a deal. I'll talk a little bit about it towards the end, but let's talk about the more exciting stuff. First, Clone Wars Territory Battles, the Clone Parade. It's going to be filled with Nexus as well as Reeks. And we got the confirmation of Ki-Adi-Mundi. Ki-Adi-Mundi. I can never say this guy's name right, so I'm just going to call it Cam for right now.
We're going to be introducing Ki-Adi-Mundi as the earnable on the light side map. Ki-Adi-Mundi, he's a master of Makashi, and he's also, I think, a master of Ataru. And so he's one of the first characters we have that he can transition into and out of different forms. And so it sort of shows up in his idol, and it has some interactions with the way his kit works as well. And so he's able to take on sort of a more aggressive stance, and he's able to take on a more defensive stance as well. He's going to be a really powerful sort of slot-in Galactic Republic Jedi that'll help really bolster Galactic Republic and Galactic Republic Jedi teams as well.
So Cam is going to be the Wat Tambor unlock special mission. As you know, with the Dark Side GeoTB's Territory Battles, you need the Geonosians, the Geonosian Brood Alpha, and the Geonosian crew to complete the special mission to get Wat Tambor shards. And obviously, the more completions your guild gets, the more shards you get of Wat Tambor. So that's going to be the same exact type of formula they're going to be bringing for Ki-Adi-Mundi. But they did not specify what characters are going to be needed to unlock them. They just said Galactic Republic, but they said we can probably guess in terms of what the requirements might be. And if I had to guess, it's probably going to be clones, 501st characters, maybe Shock T and clone troopers of some sort, because remember, the ARC Trooper's coming out soon. We got confirmation of that when General Skywalker was announced, and we don't know how we're going to get the ARC Trooper. There's a very good possibility maybe the ARC Trooper is going to be released like the Geonosian Brood Alpha. It's going to be a free-to-play unlock, kind of on a high node, like the Cantina table, 16 energy per battle, perhaps, if I had to guess. Or it could be Shock T. Remember, there's always that one important character that is needed alongside the rest of the generic units to go along with it. So it might be Shock T as the needed element, or it could be the ARC Trooper that might be needed for this Wat Tambor-like mission for Ki-Adi-Mundi. So we'll just have to wait and see, but we did get a little bit of insight in terms of how Ki-Adi-Mundi is going to be operating, because he's a master of Ataru as well as the master of Makashi. So because he's a master of both of those forms of battling, he's going to be able to transition from both of them. And they said it's kind of how like Commander Luke Skywalker can go from his normal position to his call to action position. So it's something similar, but not exactly like that. They just want to try to give you the idea that he kind of transitions. He keeps flowing between Ataru as well as Makashi. So it should be an interesting character. This character is supposed to be bolstering the Galactic Republic Jedi faction. Is this going to be something that maybe works with Anakin? Probably not, since Anakin, General Skywalker, is mostly supposed to be a 501st character. He has the most synergy with the 501st. So this might not be so much for the 501st team with Anakin Skywalker, but if I had to guess, we're probably going to see some reworks. And they did not elaborate on reworks whatsoever here, but they said this is supposed to bolster the Galactic Republic and especially Galactic Republic Jedi team. And frankly, we don't really have a powerful Galactic Republic Jedi team, so we might be seeing Kit Fisto, Mace Windu reworks, and other type of characters of that sort. So we might finally get maybe like a Jedi Council team, a Galactic Republic Jedi team of some sort. That might be where Ki-Adi-Mundi is going to kind of lie. That's something we're going to have to wait and see. But if I had to guess, Mace Windu is going to get a rework. And if they don't rework Mace Windu, what was the point of all this Clone Wars content? Let me ask you that. And furthermore, in terms of Galactic Republic development going forward, I mean, they said that there's more to come. Because right now the problem is, as I said in a video last week, Ahsoka kind of feels like the weak link to the 501st team of General Skywalker. She just doesn't fit that well. She doesn't really work with Fives, so because Fives is looking to sacrifice for a 501st clone ally, and Ahsoka doesn't meet those requirements. So eventually Ahsoka is supposed to be going back over to the Padme team, and apparently we're still waiting on a friend for General Skywalker to show up to make the 501st General Skywalker team a lot better. Maybe that's ARC Trooper. I don't know. If it was ARC Trooper, you'd think they would explicitly state that. So maybe it's not ARC Trooper and it's something else. Point being that the Galactic Republic 501st Anakin Skywalker team is supposed to improve going forward, and Ahsoka is going to end up going back to Padme most likely. But moving on, special missions aside from the Ki-Adi-Mundi event, we have confirmation that the Reek is going to be kind of like the Acklay battle, but it's going to be a little bit different.
There's not a Reek Acklay-like battle and a Nexu-like and a Nexu Acklay-like battle. The Reek has a battle that's very reminiscent of the Acklay battle. We've set it up the same way, except that we've added somebody who maybe interacted with the Reek. We'll let you guys see as it gets a little bit closer. There's a third party there, but they're kind of just messing things up, so to speak. He definitely has a stampede component to him. You got to watch out. Don't let him get too mad. Yeah, and the Nexu is funny in that the Nexu, he kind of roams around the battlefield. So like if you think of the territory battle map, there's all the different nodes, and he kind of shows up and piecemeal in some different places, and he's not the same sort of epicness of it. We thought it'd be interesting to make him sort of be like, oh, hi, I'm here too. Hi, I'm the Nexu.
And this is going to kind of transition us into our next topic in a second in regards to ships, because they're trying to change how the ship combat works for territory battles. They're not looking to reinvent the wheel of ships in general for the game, but for Geonosis territory battle, we're going to see a different take in terms of how ship combat works and apparently managing buffs. It was very general conversation. Maybe you guys can understand more from the bit right here, but ships is supposed to be a little bit more engaging, a little bit different than what we're used to with this Dark Side Geonosis territory battle.
One of the things that we're going to do is that the ship phase will start immediately with the territory battle as well. There's actually some recycled ideas that we had about ships when we were first ideating on them, and I'm going to save this one, but what I can say is that the designers have picked it back up and they've started doing some thinking around it, and so they've actually done they've changed the way ship combat works a little bit, is the best way I can put it, and that there is this management of sort of a buff system to kind of make the most of your fleet in that way.
And then the biggest thing, Galaxy of Hoarders, people. If you guys took my advice not too long ago, I said hoard your guild event token 2 currency. Just hoard your guild event token currency in general. Unfortunately, that is the way this game has been going, and unfortunately the interviewers didn't really push this question too hard onto the developers when they were on this interview here. But Malevolence, it is coming. It is coming indeed. It's going to be quite similar to the Malevolence we saw not too long ago for the Vulture Droid marquee event, and there will be a summon mechanic for the Malevolence, and we're going to get the giant ion ray cannon, if that was the exact name of the weapon on the Malevolence. Ion blaster cannon. I can't remember the exact word right now. So they didn't say if it's going to be 100% to the T of what we saw for the Vulture Droid event, but the Malevolence is coming, and unfortunately, it's going to require Guild Event Mark II currency. So if you've been hoarding and you skipped the negotiator, you could probably get this ship right away, and it sounds like it's going to be the better ship, but of course there's a lot of separatist stuff needed to make the Malevolent ship work a lot better, because right now there's only a couple separatists, Geonosians, and the Vulture. There's really not many other ships, but they're planning on adding more crewless ships, so maybe we'll get the Tri-Fighter droid ship, if I had to guess. So if you're someone that already, my advice was, if you unlock the negotiator at 5 stars, hoard your currency. Don't rush to get this ship to 6 and 7 stars. Just keep your currency, so in case the Malevolence gets added in here, you can try to unlock that as well, because man, the guild event token currency is so tough to come across right now. And what I'll be doing is I'm going to keep my negotiator at 5 stars, hoard my currency, and give it to the Malevolence, because the Malevolence looks like it's going to be a very important ship, and especially now that we're moving into our next conversation, ships will be reintroduced in Grand Arena very soon. Probably, if I had to guess, maybe the next season or iteration of Grand Arena Championships. One of the reasons why they pulled back ships is because really you only had like 1 or 2 capital ships that you could legitimately use and counter other ships, because really the Akbar ship was just so dominant. And if you didn't really have your own Akbar ship, it was very difficult to counter Akbar with the Millennium Fall, because they pulled it back a bit. And now they're hoping going into the future with adding the Malevolence, the Negotiator, of course, those are very difficult ships to unlock. They're also looking to add other capital ships in the game alongside the Negotiator and Malevolence, because one of their immediate plans is to give you variety like you have with your characters, because the more capital ships you have, the more squads you can compose. So if you can't get the Negotiator or the Malevolence, hopefully they add some other ways to get these ships going on into the future, because ships is definitely lacking a ton in content, and the main problem really is just there's not enough capital ships in the game. And with all this being said, with the Malevolence, Ki-Adi-Mundi, probably we're gonna get some other 501st characters to complete General Skywalker, Arc Trooper, hopefully some Mace Windu reworks and Kit Fisto and all that stuff. The Clone Parade, Light Side Geo Territory Battle will be the close of all the Clone Wars era love. And then moving forward, which I'll talk about in a different video, it looks like we're gonna head into some episode 9, maybe some Disney Plus stuff and all that fun stuff, the Mandalorian perhaps. We'll talk about that in a different time. But what I want to talk about, which I saved at the very end because it has not been a pleasant conversation, and unfortunately the podcast and the interview made it seem like it wasn't a big deal. And that's unfortunate, because it was a big deal. It was quite a big deal. And basically, we got some numbers in terms of how many people were affected with this Malak bug. And about 40,000 players were affected. And in the grand scheme of things, they said it's really not that big of a group compared to how many people actually play in Galaxy of Heroes. And mainly the thing that they took into more consideration, rather than forums, Reddit, YouTube, all that stuff, is that they looked at the people who do not follow the forums, Reddit, YouTube, and all that stuff, who the hardcore players basically. So they were looking at pretty much the rest of these people, how should they rectify the issue, considering that most of these people are not kind of in tune and know what's going on, even knew there was a bug that was happening. Basically, at the end of the day, they felt that they needed to give out the Zetas and the guild event token currency to players who got their 7-star Malak through the bug and got rolled back, because they're probably wondering, well, what happened? Why is it all of a sudden I got knocked down from 7 to 5 stars or 7 to 6 stars? So that's why they gave their rewards to those people and not everyone else. They didn't really talk too much why they didn't give the rewards to everybody. They kind of skated by that question, because it really incentivized people to use these bugs and exploits when they occur, even though that you'd think you'd want to reward people for not using these bugs. So unfortunately, they didn't talk too much about that. That's pretty much it with the Malak fiasco. They just said it's unfortunate it happened, which it is very unfortunate. There was no perfect solution, which I agree, there was no perfect solution, but this could have been an opportunity for them to reconsider the whole 5-star unlock for Epic Confrontation. Of course, they didn't talk about that, talk about the guild event token crunch. Instead, they just kind of stuck to it, and it is what it is. They're just hoping we move on from this.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Well, LOL, JK, this is an issue that is still an ongoing problem. You can't make this up, ladies and gentlemen. Just a minor update. After recording this video, this came up on the forum post where there is still Starforge Showdown issues, and the event is continuing to give out free Malak shards. So we're just gonna cut out everything we said. I said after that last part I cut from. Basically, to keep it short and simple, you guys know my opinion at this point. Just stop with these events. Stop at the 5-star unlocks, 7-star unlocks, call it a day. I don't know why this is so complicated. This is a great opportunity to do something really amazing for the community and ease up on this incredible crunch that's going on in the game right now. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Just wanted to update you a little bit after this whole Malak part of the video. Like if you did enjoy the video, comment down below on all your thoughts that we talked about today, and be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And I'll talk to all the lovely people in the next video. Peace out, everybody.
Party Richter, Party Richter. Down, 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 down. Party Richter, Party Richter. Son of a bitch. Party Richter, Party Richter. Down, down.